Hear ye, hear ye. 7 years ago, I don't know the rest of this, but it's time to put down your swords. It's time to put down your shields, put down your muskets. It's over. The console war is over. I alluded to this 7 or so months ago, trying to warn people, but it's over. All of the stuff that has happened this week has just signified the end of the traditional console wars that I grew up in. A time in video gaming history that I will always remember. But I am also smart enough to learn from history. And looking at the landscape of things today, we're done here. It's time to move on. It's time to start warring in another fandom, go watch some sports, go get into some other hobby, because this is done, folks. This is done. And I know what you're saying to yourself, RGT, you're just a Nintendo YouTuber. Of course you're going to say this, that, and the other. First and foremost, I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber because I do not glaze Nintendo for every decision they do. There are only so many hours in the day. I talk about things that I find interesting, but more importantly, I talk about things that I think my audience will find interesting. I'm a businessman. And I'm a businessman, so there has to be priority kept in certain situations. If a game is a multi-platform release, I have to think to myself, well, what are people going to be most interested in seeing? The Switch 2 version or the Xbox version from me? I think that answer is pretty clear. But I am also someone who owns every single console. I am someone who enjoys every single console for what they do. And I sit here and I sit back and I watch these console wars and just the things that have happened this week. It's over. It's a give it up. There is no point in doing this anymore. The Kumbaya era of gaming is indeed coming, which I will have a lot to say about. Xbox. How is anyone defending Xbox at any point in time right now? Canceling games, canceling big games. Perfect Dark. I wasn't waiting for that game for years or anything like that. No, cancel Perfect Dark, but send Redfall out the door because that's a quality title. But Perfect Dark, not quite meeting our standards. Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? Laying off 9,000 people, closing studios. Now we've learned that Forza Motorsports is pretty much done. They've let go of over half the team. Most of the people think they're just going to be doing support work on other games. So Turn 10, essentially done. Forza Motorsport, the rival to Gran Turismo, essentially done. So now we have Gran Turismo that has no competition. Competition breeds creativity. Competition breeds better games. That's been documented throughout the history of video games. But somewhere along the way, we turned into the Kumbaya generation. Oh, everything should get along. Everything should be a multi-platform game. And then you have this situation we're in now. Who is going to buy the new Xbox? Who has any confidence in Xbox as a company right now? Because of the fact that, yes, there is a small casual audience of Xbox connoisseurs, but for the most part, if you are an Xbox gamer, you are indeed in tune with what the company is doing. Probably because Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg follow you on Twitter and have invited you out for lunch or dinner or something like that before in the past. So you are very in tune with this. You are the key demographic, and trying to expand the demographic to a world that has kind of forgotten about you to some extent. Look at console sales. Look at the difference between PlayStation and Xbox console sales since the PS4 generation. You can clearly see that Xbox is no longer the default console like they were during the Xbox 360. But if that's not enough for you, why did they do all these layoffs? Was it because of, we're not making money? No, the stock is soaring. You're reporting great sales and great figures and great metrics for everything. Phil Spencer in his little interview, his little write-up that he sent to the employees that were getting canned. Oh no, we're doing great right now, but unfortunately we gotta let you go. Oh, it's because they want to do that generative AI stuff. They're investing lots and lots of money into AI. And I am very interested to see if people put their, money where their mouth is when it comes to the AI situation, because everyone freaks out about AI on social media, any sort of form of it. And yes, I think generative AI is a terrible thing, but guess what? AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's going to get better. And you have to figure out what you can do unless the government comes in and says, okay, we're done with this AI crap, stop it, which is not going to happen. Like, this is going to get far worse than it gets far better. I watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day when I was a child, and I've watched it as an adult. I know how this story plays out, but luckily I just turned 40. So, you know, Xbox, they're burning to the ground. PlayStation, you know, it's been a weird generation. Some people have loved it, some people not so much. But PlayStation, of course, announced the day after all of these layoffs that Helldivers 2, a PlayStation Studios published game, is now coming to the Xbox. And many key generals in the PlayStation fanboy army, such as Porto Rock 77, Jack Move Johnny, are now laying down their swords, laying down their shields, because they understand what this actually means. This, of course, started with games like Lego Horizon Adventures. I tried to say to people, once that first game comes out on another platform, it's probably not going to be the last thing. And there was lots of controversy. Well, was it Guerrilla who wanted this? Was it Lego who wanted this? And guess what? It was Guerrilla, because they wanted that game on as many platforms as possible. Although they didn't do a PS4 version of the game, which kind of makes you wonder what the ulterior motives were. But with Helldivers 2 coming out, being a PlayStation published game coming to Xbox, now you have the fact that you have created the same situation that you have previously created with Xbox. When Phil Spencer came out there and said, oh, it's only 4 games. It's only 4 games. You know, this is no big deal. No, that's how it starts. You could look back and look at what Herman Holst and Hiroki Totoki have said about what they want to do with PlayStation. They want to expand IPs. They want to expand things. And people are quick to say, well, it's a games as a service game, so it's not the same. It's this, that, or the other. MLB The Show, they had to put on other platforms because MLB was like, hey, pal, we need some more money here. All right, this exclusivity stuff, because now there's only one baseball game that exists. We got to get rid of that, okay? We need to be on every platform, so they put it on every platform. This was a decision done by Sony. And if Sony is already tiptoeing into this venture, and they're already in the PC stuff as well, which I don't even necessarily consider, because I feel like PC is a bastion in and of itself. Those people that play on PC were probably, a vast majority of them, were probably not going to buy a PlayStation 5 anyways to play some of these games, so they poured them over to PC. But then you can look at the PC numbers, and it seems like a lot of PC players aren't interested in the single player stuff. But like, you know, people are starting to think, well, maybe Spider-Man will end up coming over to Xbox because of the fact that it costs so much money and then to make, and you know, the Disney licensing fees. And that's the problem you run into with this. It's not just about the video game companies themselves. It's about licensing. It's about, you know, the budgets of these games that have skyrocketed. It's about investors. Investors do not care about your console war. They do not care about your console experience. They care about money. And if you've cracked open a window, eventually that window is going to open all the way up. And you're going to start seeing more and more PlayStation stuff, which you should have been anticipating since Lego Horizon Adventures. And then you have the winner. You have the one that stuck to their guns, that doesn't have these overinflated budgets, that doesn't have all these crazy things. A company that has made many wrong decisions with the Switch 2. And I have been very, very vocal about those, and I will continue to be very vocal. But you know what? They stuck to their formula. When times were good, when times were bad. They realized that exclusives sell platforms. Point blank, period. Nobody's buying a Switch 2 to play Cyberpunk or Street Fighter. Those are additional benefits. Those are additional bonuses. You bought the Switch 2 to play Mario Kart World. You bought the Switch 2 to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. And you can love Nintendo or you can hate Nintendo, but you have to agree that their business model ended up working out in the end for them. Because while you see all this kumbaya stuff, while you're starting to see Xbox and PlayStation games come to the Nintendo platforms, you don't see Nintendo putting their games on other platforms. You don't, because it's not what they think is going to work. And I think the proof is in the pudding when you look at things like Switch 1 sales and the Switch 2 sales thus far. Are they perfect systems? No, there are major issues and major things that are going to come up in the future. But the console war is done. This is, if you are still waging a console war, you're still defending these companies, you're still trying to justify these companies, and you're like a grown-ass, if you're like a kid, that's one thing, but you're a grown-ass person, you need to have a come-to-Jesus meeting. You need to sit down, you need to look in the mirror and realize that you've been wasting your time with this. It's over. It's done. We're now trying to work together. You know, everything's in Xbox. PlayStation games coming to Xbox. PlayStation games on Switch 1. It's over. The only one who stuck to their guns, whether you love them or hate them, is Nintendo. Mario, put the crown on him. Like DSP. Come on, guys. We need some kick support right now. I'm going to put on this funny vest. I'm so I'm very far down that rabbit hole. And, yeah, it's not a healthy thing for me. But like, we got to stop this console war nonsense. I don't want to see, just talk about the games, because at this point in time, Xbox, who knows what the hell they're doing. Even if you know, everything, you know, dies down and people forget about this, you're still going to run into the situation where it's like these games are still going to come to other platforms from PlayStation and Xbox. We already know Xbox is doing everything. If you're an Xbox fanboy and you're defending everything they do, seek therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I talk to a therapist almost every week, once a week, because I have problems. But at least my problems are not console war problems. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments section down below, scale of 1 to 10, how mad are you at me right now? Because I'm going to piss some people off with this. But you know what? Sometimes you have to tell people the truth. They need to hear the truth so that the truth can set them free. Put down your rifles, put down your muskets, put down your swords, put down your shields. It's over. Just enjoy your games, talk about the games you enjoy, and stop defending these companies at every point along the way, because they're going to do what they want to do to appease these investors. At least Nintendo still has a little bit of a soul left in them, but these other companies, they don't care. They do not care. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.